So I thought I was going to do another Photoshop video for you, just a little quick video, I guess, to show you maybe how to do this kind of rusty looking text or background, or a little bit of both, I guess, some text and background, using some filters. Pretty easy to do, pretty easy to follow along with. So let's just get started. I'm going to start off by switching my color palette back to the default black and white by hitting D on my keyboard. And I'm going to unlock my background layer by double clicking it, just clicking OK. And I'm going to fill the background with black. So I'm going to take my paint bucket, make sure I have black chosen, fill it, and I'm going to go up to my first filter, which is going to be filter. We're going to go to render clouds, and we're going to do the same thing again, except instead of clouds we're going to choose filter render difference clouds. You're going to see it adds a lot of black contrast to that. And we're going to do one more filter. So this one's going to be filter distort glass, and my settings are going to be where I want because I've done this before, but you're probably going to have to change yours. What you want to do is make sure that you're at distortion level is 18, your smoothness should be set to 2, frosted should be the texture, and scaling is 100%, and make sure invert is unchecked, and you're going to click OK. And that kind of gives it this glassy window type of frosted window type of look. But we're going to do a little bit more of that. You're going to double click onto the layer to go into the layer styles, and we're going to go into pattern overlay here. Check that. You're going to click into it, and you're going to have this default pattern here, but you want to change that. Click this little drop down arrow here, and you want to look for rusted metal. If you don't see that by default, you can go on this arrow here and just click on patterns, and it should be in that group. That's a default Photoshop group. So just click your rusty metal pattern here, and we're going to change this blend mode to soft light, and going to lower the opacity. Actually, first we're going to scale it up. I want to scale it to about 200%. Maybe lower the opacity a little bit. I'm going to do this rusty type of look, so you want to kind of keep it orangey. Just that probably looks good. Maybe 65%. We'll just play along with that as we go. And then click OK. And that's kind of the background I'm going for. So now I want to add some text to it. I'm going to set my text color to white by default, and I want to choose my type tool. And the font I'm going to use is called Redford BV, which I'm pretty sure I downloaded from dafont.com, DAFONT.com. I'm just going to lay some text out here. The word rusty, I guess, is going to work for what I'm doing. I'm going to scale that up really big. So I'm going to go to Edit Free Transform, put it in the center kind of, hit Alt and Shift to scale uniform, drag it up in the corner, and probably, it seems pretty good. Just center it up a little bit here. Okay, so now we're just going to add some different effects to this. What I'd like to do is go on Google and type in metal texture or rusty texture in the image search, and you're going to find a ton of textures that will work fine. You're not going to have mine, obviously, but anything that you find should be fine for whatever you're looking to do. So I already have some, obviously, that I want to use, so I'm going to click this one here first. This is just this metal grungy texture that I found, I think, from cgtextures.com. That might be the website. If you Google that, you should be able to come up with it. So I'm just going to click my arrow here, and I'm going to drag it onto my document that I'm working on now. Now what I want to do is add a clipping mask to this so that this texture is actually sitting within that text that I just created. So what you need to do is make sure that the layer is right above your text layer. You're going to right click it, choose Create Clipping Mask, and you can see how it just filled it in there and masked it out all around the rest of the image. But that's way too big right now, so it's a little blurry. We need to scale that down and kind of make it look a little bit more correct. So we're going to go to Edit Free Transform, and I'm going to have to drag this down a little bit to get my corner here. Again, I'm going to hit Alt and Shift to scale uniformly. Scale it way down. This is a pretty large image. And just line it up to where you think looks good. Just make sure it's covering the entire image, or the entire text, I should say. That probably looks pretty good right there. And I'm going to mess around with my layer styles right now. So I want to click on my text layer because that's the layer that I want to affect with these styles. I'm going to double click it, and I'm just going to start free-handing or free-balling, I don't know what you would say, just messing around with this and seeing what I can come up with. So I'm going to choose bevel and emboss. I'm going to go into it, and I kind of like the way pillow emboss looks, so instead of inner bevel, choose pillow emboss. And I'm going to set the size up pretty decent. The depth actually maybe, let's see what looks good here. About 400%. Okay, and then I'm going to bring the size down to tighten up these edges a little bit. And I think soften should stay down to 0. The angle's cool. The highlight mode, I'm going to get rid of screen because it's giving me this big highlight around here, which I really don't want. So I'm going to set that to maybe overlay. That's kind of cool. Gets rid of it. Now this glass contour button here, you could click into this and you play around with the different settings. You're going to see it changes the bevel and the effect that it has on the text, but this may look cooler to you than what you're coming up with, so you can mess around with this stuff. This kind of looks cool. But I think I'm just going to stick with the default setting there. And I might add an inner shadow to that. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. Maybe, let's see what the distance looks like a little lower. And the size we can leave by default. Again, you can always play around with these and just see what it's doing to it. But again, I'm going to stick with the default. And I think that's all I'm going to do right now for the bevel on this. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to kind of change the color of this background here, or of this text, to match my background a little bit. So I'm going to image. Let's see here what's going on. Oh boy. Oh, you know why? Because I'm in the text. I need to be in my clip mask layer. So I'm going to click my clipping mask layer, and then I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue, Saturation, and I'm going to hit Colorize. Kind of just match it up a little bit to what I think looks close to the background. Lower the saturation. Maybe darken it up here. Okay, that looks pretty cool. Maybe it's a little too yellow. But you know what, we can always change that too. So just click OK. Maybe go up to Image, Adjustments, Color Balance. Start with the midtones. And maybe redden it up a little bit here. A little magenta. Shadows. Just do the same thing, kind of play around until it matches to what you're looking to do here. Okay, I think that looks that looks pretty good right there. Now I'm going to do one more clipping mask. I'm going to add a rust layer to it. Another image that I think I got from CG Textures. Let's see, that's not it. It's hidden somewhere back here. There it is. Click this image here, this bright orange rusty image. I also, again, click it, drag it over my previous clip mask, and it's going to automatically do that. It's going to clip it for me. And now I'm going to scale this down as well because this is too big. Edit, free transform, Alt and Shift, bring it down a lot. The good thing about that CG Textures website is they offer really high resolution images, so it's really good for doing stuff in like 3D Studio Max or Maya or whatever, or Photoshop. So that looks pretty cool right there. Click OK. And I'm going to change the blend mode on this clip mask, I think, to lighten. Yeah, maybe that looks pretty cool. Let's just see what the other ones look like. Screen, it's too bright. Overlay. Nope, we don't want to do that. Let's go back to lighten. And again, I'm going to mess with the color of this rust to bring it back more like this background. So, do Image, adjustments, color balance, and again, just start playing around till you kind of match it up. I may have to do the saturation a little bit lower. It's a little too bright. Shadows. And highlights. Yeah, it's pretty cool right there. And I'm just going to do one last thing. I'm going to add a layer mask to that rust layer that I just created. Grab a big brush. Maybe just start erasing away some of the area of the rust that I just created, kind of so you could see that metal in the background. Just clicking on random spots, just so that the rust kind of looks like it's over top of that metal that I already created. See these cool little cracks in it right there? I kind of want to leave that. Just kind of try and make it look a little bit natural. And I think that's pretty much it. That's kind of the effect I was going for. So I just hope this video showed you some techniques you can use, clipping masks. They're a pretty cool feature. And hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.